Hey, what's up everyone? Out here doing a little practice and the start of the setup of my new bow, the RX-1 Turbo, and I thought I'd just give you guys a little look at how I do that. For me it takes a bit of time. I'm no professional at this, so it's kind of a 2, 3, maybe even a 4-stage process, you know, getting the rest tuned nicely through some paper so I know the arrow's flying straight, and then moving on to the sight and probably end up adjusting the rest and stuff again, but all takes time, and anyway, at least we get it done in the end. So let me show you what I got here, the old and the new. So right here, as I said, the RX-1 Turbo, and you know what, I'm going to do a little bit of a review on the difference between these two bows. I've got the RX-1 Turbo and then the good old ZT30, but this is in 80 pounds and not turbo, obviously. So the reason I bought the RX-1 in turbo is because we're all getting a little bit older, and I wanted to be able to shoot fast enough arrows without pulling as much of the poundage. Well, we'll see if that is you know, as simple as it sounds. I don't think it is, but I definitely think there are some benefits. So there you go, that RX-1 actually only been fired about 5 times at home when I put the D-loop and stuff on. And I got a new sight on here. This is the XL AccuTouch, and first time I've used one of these sort of dovetail slider things. So I actually need a new peep sight because the sight is quite far out there, and it's looking really small in the D-loop. So sorry, not in the D-loop, in the peep sight. So I'm gonna change to a smaller peep sight, and maybe that'll work that out. Arrows that we have here, also got a bit of a video on this one. Let me get this out for you. So you're shooting the Kinetic Pierce Platinum from Gold Tip. These are in 250 spine. And they're pretty sweet, man. I really like the ballistic collar setup that they have here. As I may have mentioned before, previous arrows I was shooting, the Victory VAP, and also in 250 spine, very nice and thin arrows. They've got some cool stuff like this spine align thing, where you can put the vanes on exactly the same on each arrow. Whether it's real or not, I don't know. But they say it is. It's got this coating which makes it is actually pretty smooth. So you should get, you know, that should assist with penetration. How much? Probably not much at all. And then the insert, well, it doesn't have the ballistic collar like on the Gold Tip, but it does have this sort of tapered insert, which, yeah, I like the tapering, but that's a lot of insert sticking up or outsert, and I've had a couple of these bend. So looking forward to seeing how the Platinum Pierce works. Anyway, let's do some shooting. Okay, so I don't even know what range that is, and right now that's not important. All I want to do is make sure that the arrow is getting somewhere, literally somewhere in there, and once I get it dialed in at whatever range that is, then I'll start to move out to 20 and get a little further, and well, actually a little more accurate, then a little bit further. I'm shooting a lot of new stuff today, so that's why I'm literally just trying to get it to hit a target. I got a new release, new arrows, new sight, new bow, so a lot of new stuff, a lot of things that can go wrong. Peep sight is still kind of twisting around and doing its thing. I haven't actually tied it in properly because, as I said, I'll be getting a little bit of a smaller peep sight. So let's just see. And actually, one other thing I'm going to do, this bow is at 29 inches and I shoot 29 and a half, maybe even 30 with this one. So I've ordered some new modules to change the draw length, so that's going to change things even more. So I'm not even going to put a sight tape on today, but hopefully I can get it close so that when the new modules come, got the new peep, then I'm that much closer to getting it done. The release I'm shooting here, this is a True Fire with a hook and this chicken wing, maybe you can see that chicken wing little setup. I like it because my trigger finger is my middle finger, the long one. and that just worked well for me. So first shot out here, let's see if this is anywhere in the ballpark. Let's see how that works. I've got to say, so 70 pounds in a turbo is way lighter than that 80 pound. This peep sight is huge around that sight. Right, so not bad on the line there, a little bit left of where I wanted, and it's a fair bit higher than what I was aiming, but this is, well, let's range it now. 14 yards, so it might be closer if I move it out to 20. So I'm going to move the blocks out to 20 and maybe adjust that sight a tiny bit, pull the arrow to the right little, and see how that works. Alrighty, so I changed my mind. That shot actually wasn't too bad. It was higher than it was to the left, and you know, I'm no perfect shot, so I might have pulled it a little bit to the left. So what I've done, I moved that out to 20. In fact, I've got to move back a little bit, and I'm going to take another shot, see how it looks, and try to be a little more accurate. And I think it's probably better than I initially thought. So, all right, we're out at 20. And already I can feel, you know, if I was practicing with my 80 pound bow, I'd be tired, but this seems to be alright. Definitely got to change the peep sight there. Alright, so as I kind of suspected, the line is great, left to right, windage, get the right term. Windage is fine, so that's good news, but it's definitely shooting, looks from here about 4 or 5 inches high. So I'll adjust the sight a little bit, bring that down, and we're in business. Right, so as you may know, archery sights are inherently pretty complicated. I'll tell you what I had to do here. So since the arrows were shooting a little high, what I had to do was raise the pin so that I would aim at the same spot and in turn actually be bringing the arrow down. Here's where it got complicated. Let me get this where you can see it. So I didn't want to start just using the adjustment to raise the sight, because then you're losing a whole bunch of how can I say, real estate on your sight tape right down there. So what I want to do is have the bow sighted in using the, how can I call them, the big old manual industrial kind of adjustments, by moving the actual sight, the sight housing, and get this get that 20 pin. It's not set right now, but that mark up there somewhere close to the top, so that when I put my sight tape on, the 20 mark is up there, not halfway down here. I hope you get my drift. You'd be wasting a whole bunch of space, plus you could run into a clearance issue with your arrows, excuse me, with your arrows getting, or your sight getting a little close to your arrows when you're shooting at further distance. Now, where this sight pissed me off a little bit, it seems like a good sight. I'm not saying it's bad so far, but what I had to do was, there are two tiny, and I'm going to get something to point at these for you, tiny little grub screws that I had to take completely out, which I find a little strange. So there you go, pointing at that thing there, one over there and one at the other side on top over there. So I had to remove those, and they were sitting in these little grooves right there. Now fine, you know, you can move the housing up and down, but man, why is it going to be 3/4 of an inch? You know, we should be able to move it just a little, just to get where you are. Now it could be too high, and I'll have to be bringing the sight down, which annoys me a little. So that bit there, that's not so great. But let's keep going. One step at a time, right? Here we go. Same little duck there. It's definitely a nice bow to draw, that's for sure. That 80 pound thing of mine's a bit of a beast. Yeah. I don't know where that went. Oh, way low. Right, so as I said, moving that that whole housing has made a huge difference. I'll tell you what, let's do one more one more, and if it's in the same spot, then I'm going to start to move the sight down, and then we're out of moving. We've got to actually adjust the sight, if you know what I mean. We're out of range of the sight housing. We'll have to adjust the sight. Yeah, looks like they're actually almost touching. So we'll walk out there and go look. So right now, not looking for any great accuracy, as you guessed. Just trying to get some kind of grouping. Yeah, all right. So I can't even see the screen here. All right, so as you can see, nicely little grouped over there, but I was actually aiming at this thing up there, so that's way low. So we're going to have to do the last little bit of adjusting that we can and get it in the ballpark. So maybe the sight's not as annoying as I thought. So yes, I moved the whole housing down a little bit, and I was worried about losing real estate on the sight tape. I actually took another few shots to get it even closer, but you can remove this little Allen screw here into the next hole, or you could just loosen it and move your sight up and down. So okay, I take it back, not so bad. You can get this pin as close to the top as you dare. Anyway, I think I'm pretty close. I've got a couple of shots in, and let me just shoot a few more and I'll show you that we're almost there now. Okay, so as usual, my equipment is way more accurate than I am, so I'll try and shoot my best and see if I can get a nice 3-arrow group. I actually had a bit of a shoulder injury a few weeks, maybe nearly 2 months ago. Couldn't even draw my kid's bow, so had to take it slow and take my time, and I'm kind of back, but not as strong as I'd like to be. We're getting there. That looked a little better. I have this habit of starting off my aiming below where I want to hit and then bringing my sight up. It's really annoying. I'm trying to get out of it. There we go. Alright. I gotta say, not the greatest shooting on my part. Let's go have a look. Everyone always says that, but none of us are as accurate as we'd like to be. But the important thing is, I think I've got this sight pretty close to where I want it. I did think I was shooting a little low, so that makes sense for that little grouping. But 20 yards, new sight, new bow, new arrows, everything. Well, here's what I did. I wasn't even going to show this because I didn't have much faith in it. But a little bit of cheating. But then again, it's not cheating if it's legal, right? So there's this app that I had a long time ago. I paid for it. I think it was a couple of bucks, $5, maybe 10, I don't know. But what it does is with the speed of the bow, and you can measure the peep down to the arrow, all that good stuff, and you peep to your sight, and or put in all the information, and it gives you a sight tape, and it can actually print sight tapes that you can stick onto your bow sight. So I'm not that into it, but the one main part of it is the speed of your arrow. So I have shot this bow through the chronograph. I got a good idea of the speed, and you just put the speed in here and it says what sight you're using, and it tells you which sight tape number to use. So maybe you can see that. It told me to go with the AccuTouch Pro 25. So I didn't want to stick a sight on there, a sight tape on there, since I told you I have a few things changing. But I just kind of eyeballed it and moved my the aiming, the range pin down to where it looked like 40 is. And I'm not joking, man, I'm right on the bullseye there. I'm going to do another shot, and there'll be 2 arrows in the target when we get there, and let's see how it is. So here we go, man. Anything that makes it easier for you, why not? You know, I would have been walking up and down, maybe lost some arrows, and that would be a bit of a pain in the ass. So here we go. The first shot I did, very good line and a little bit right of the center, and let's see where this one goes. Like I said, the bow is more accurate than me. I'm just trying to keep up. Alright, felt okay, but you never know. Let's go have a look. So, like I said, first shot I was really impressed with. That's why I decided to show you guys. And you know, maybe you can use this app too. It's called Uno, U-N-O, and I think it works pretty well, man. Well, what do you know? Not bad at all. Okay, I can't see the screen too well. There we go. So, first shot was this one over here. There, sorry. And that was one that we did right now. So, there, as you can see, man, that saved a whole bunch of time. I know 40 yards isn't that far, but you know, it's probably far enough to start working on a sight tape. Alright, I almost forgot about the speed test we're going to do. So the reason I bought the Turbo was because I didn't want to have to pull 80 pounds, you know, never mind when you're hunting, but when you're practicing it's even worse, you know. So I thought I could get a lighter poundage bow that shoots faster, and I could shoot the same weight or close to the same weight arrow and get the same, similar, maybe better speeds, who knows. So I'll give you the specs here. This is a non-turbo, this is a standard 80 pound carbon Spider ZT30. I've weighed it on the arrow draw scale, and it's 78 pounds, 77, 78, somewhere around there. And I said 29.5 inches of draw, which is interesting because the Turbo, 70 pound bow from the factory, but turbo, and it's only at 29 inches right now. And when I weigh that on the draw scale, it is 70 pounds on the dot, well, 70.4. So interesting. These limbs are all the way down. I don't know why I'm only getting 78 pounds. Maybe someone's got a clever answer, you can tell me. But let's see what we get here. I know you probably can't see the numbers, so I'll read out the readings for you. But here's the main problem with the 80 pound bow. It's, man, it plays havoc on your shoulders, you know. There we go. Alrighty, first shot with the 80 pound. 277. I won't waste too much time. I've already done this and I know that they're all pretty damn similar. So I'll use the exact same arrow with the Turbo. So same arrow with the Turbo. And let's see what we get. So as you can see, I wasn't faking it. I mean, I'm strong enough. I'm a little out of shape after an injury I had, but you know, the 80 pounds is a bit of a mission to pull, as you may know. So here we go. I'm right up at the chronograph, so we get the exact speed out of the bow. So same exact arrow with the 70 pound Turbo. Much easier to draw. And this Turbo is at 29 inches. 268. So, 9 feet per second slower with the Turbo at nearly 10 pounds lighter. Well, as I said, the Turbo is at 29 inches. I'm going to change it to 29 and a half, maybe even 30. And that could probably get me 8 or 10 feet per second more on the speed, which means it'll be exactly the same as the Turbo, which means I did the right thing by buying a Turbo, and my shoulders are going to thank me when I'm older, if I can get any older than I am now. But that's my theory on the Turbo and the big 80 pound bows. Man, I do think that if you're shooting a really heavy arrow, like if you're going for buffalo or giraffe, then I think the heavy arrows have more momentum if you shoot them out of a bigger poundage bow, like the 80 pound. I shot a giraffe with a 966 grain arrow out of the 80 pound Turbo, and it was doing, I can't remember, like 200 and, it was really slow, like 208 feet per second or something like that. But the animal went down in no time at all with one arrow. maybe I'll bring out the heavy arrows and we shoot them with the turbo and see how they work on that. Anyway, tell me what you want to see and we'll get it done.